All right, ladies and gentlemen, code breakers around the world, another episode, fast decodes, this one on the topic of feed the machine. Feed the machine, Decoded. It's going to be highlighting this band right here called Nickelback. Highly successful, one of the most successful bands out of Canada ever. I like them. What about you? They have an album called Feed the Machine. That's why I kind of had it redrawn up here. Feed the Machine. I'm going to show you how the machine gets fed by way of predestination. Let's start here with the four band members. This is the current lineup right now, the longest running lineup. There have been band changes. Daniel in the drummer position, born on February the 19th, was later added on, but this is the most successful lineup they have, the longest running lineup that they have, and here are their four birthdays. 25th, 19th, 1st, and 15th. And when you add those up, you get the number 60. What's the element on the periodic table that has an isotope of 60? How about nickel? Nickel's most abundant is nickel 60. Add up the neutrons, protons, and electrons, 28 and 60. You're going to get raw. You're going to get 88. Here are the four cards for these band members, their birthdays. 5 of clubs twice, 6 of diamonds, 9 of spades. Add them all up, you're going to get 116. That's the golden ratio. But it's when you add on the Nickelback card. Nickelback being the number 27. The 27th card is the Ace of Diamonds, which turns into the Ace of Pentacles. Why did they have the name Nickelback? If you read the formation, it said that Mike Kroger was working at Starbucks. And he would say, here's your Nickelback. Well, again, Nickelback being 27, the Ace of Diamonds being the 27th card, the Ace of Pentacles, card 65, coming from the Ace of Diamonds. What do you see there in the hand? Well, it's a 5-pointed pentagram. What is a nickel? 5 cents, which is the Canadian nickel. There's the nickel right there. This is the scripted reality that we live in, folks. I don't think that the band did this on purpose. I would bet my life on it, because we live in a scripted reality. So we've already talked about this in Game Over, Try Again, with that hand holding the quarter to slide in the slot. Well, in this case, do you want your nickel back? And there it is, right there, scripted reality. So when you add on that Ace of Diamonds, and you add all the cards up of the band members, you get 143. And what element has the 143? Neodymium. See how many protons it has? 60. Which is what element? Nickel. Nickel, neodymium. This is tied to pi. This is tied to head of the snake. Remember that Ra 226 is 314. And this adds up to 88, which is Ra's element. Here's their 4 cards right there, just in case you want to add it up and play around with it. I'll leave it here for you. 116, as we know, is tied to Matthew 116, which is Jesus coming on the scene. Anyway, here is the album, Feed the Machine. The name of this breakdown. What is that in numerology? 60, which is what element? Nickel, as well as neodymium. Remember, this is the head of the snake. If you've been paying attention, the serpent's mouth, I'll spit you out of my mouth, that's Jesus. Yeah, because this is Matthew 1 verses 16. What do you think nickel is, folks? It's called devil's copper. And finally, for this fast decode, what about their YouTube channel? Is that scripted? Well, they joined on March 21st, 2007. And what is the card? The 2 of diamonds, card number 28, which is nickel. So either somebody knows about all this stuff that we're breaking down, or we live in a scripted reality. Your choice on what it is that you want to accept. Let me go one step further for the final layer to this presentation. I'm going to go to Solar Spread 28 because that's nickel 28. And I'm going to locate the band members' cards. Remember that there are 2 5 of clubs in the band. If I just go back up here, just so you know, Mike and Chad are both 5 of clubs. Okay? 6 of diamonds, 9 of spades. And they sit in these spaces. We know this is a bingo chart. Space 23, 39, and 45. What happens when you add that up? 107, which is what in mathematics? The 28th prime number. That's how I know these guys are just doing their job, man. They came into this world to be musicians. That's it. So, even if this was selected to get this, I know they're not doing this. Because we live in a scripted reality.